You guys ever wonder how Bitcoin money laundering works? What the big hubbub is when governments and international regulatory agencies talk about funding terrorism and money laundering? Are you tired of hearing the exact same thing from both statists and Bitcoiners? Well, let's talk some real facts on today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hearing the exact same thing from both. Had to mute that real quick. Sorry about that. Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live for you August 9th, 2019, your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders and investors. I'm Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at CrackingCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic this afternoon, wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you're watching us from across YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, or on Roku at the Investor News channel. If you want to support the show, make sure to subscribe, follow, share, and engage in the live chat. And for you YouTubers, hit the thumbs up button. Of course, today's episode is brought to you by the Cracking Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group. If you are an aspiring trader or an experienced trader looking to sharpen your skills, and you would like to work with a team with a proven track record who deal in the realm of probability, statistics, and verifiable edge, head over to premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com to see what the Premium Trading Group can do for you. Our exclusive setups and trade signals, our Pathways to Profit strategy building course, proprietary indicators, spreadsheets, and tools, as well as our educational material and our database library. Come join the fastest growing community of traders and investors at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. And we've got a fantastic show for you guys today. How are you guys doing in the chat? Let me know. I see Tom Hardy. I see Kendi. I see It's Hard. Ferguson, what's going on, my good man? Good to see you guys in here this morning. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a great show. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the live scene and give away some crypto, as we always do. Which button is it? Nope. I was so close. I was so close. It's this button. All right. And of course, I want to thank, as we do every single day, we give away cryptocurrency every single day on this channel. And I want to thank this month's crypto comment giveaway sponsor, X42 Protocol. Make sure to go check them out at x42.tech. All right, and we've got 27 potential unique winners. Let's click this button and give away some crypto. Cracking Crypto, you win. Congratulations. No, that's my comment, so we'll have to do it again. Wow, I got to do it again. Wow, I'm such a winner today. Choudhary, congratulations again, my good man. Get a hold of me in the Discord at JustinWise5696, and I will tip you some crypto. Again, a big shout out to this month's crypto comment giveaway sponsor, X42 Protocol. So let's get right over into the charts, guys. So we've got a lot of exciting activity happening today. And by exciting activity, I mean good signals, good trades I took this morning at the morning 12-hour close. Went ahead and established myself in some positions. I talked yesterday. If you guys, make sure you guys go check out yesterday's video. I always try to make sure that I am consistent with what I say from day one to day two. I'm never going to come on the show on Monday and be like, yeah, man, I'm going long. And then come here on Tuesday and be like, so as I talked about yesterday, I totally went short. Never going to hear that from me. So anyways, here on the daily, obviously we don't have a re-entry signal. I talked about how I went ahead and used the 12-hour exit signal from my strategy, from my algorithm to exit the trade, a trade that I had initiated on the daily. We did go full risk long on Bitcoin on Friday, secured my profits on that, picked up Ethereum on Saturday, basically held that trade open, but went ahead and closed those out middle of the week as I talked about. So I've been sitting flat on my Bitcoin position. I'm still sitting flat on my Bitcoin position. I'm not in an active position on Bitcoin at this point in time. We are above the baseline. That gives us a bullish bias. I would be looking for a breakout to the upside, as I do not trade reversals. Wadatar explosion is threatening to print a column below the explosion line, but we do not have that coming in yet. Obviously, printing a bar below the explosion level would be a confirmed exit signal on the daily. Our daily Fisher is not crossed under the trigger line, meaning we don't have a confirmed daily exit signal, and Minx has not crossed into the static line, meaning we do not have a confirmed daily exit signal either. However, we are printing low volume, and again, if we go down to the lower time frames, as we start descending into the lower time frames, seeing this pop and chop activity, which for me is a very unattractive area to trade. I do not trade in ranging environments. I wait, I sit on the sidelines until a strong trend has been reestablished, and I let anything, if anything, I would be using time transformation automated to trade reversals. I know a lot of the guys in the group are utilizing that. Time transformation is a proprietary indicator I designed that does trade reversals quite well and is best utilized in ranging environments, although it is good also as a trending indicator, as a hybrid indicator. So let's go down to the 12. The 12 is what I have had my eye on. We can see over here, Minx crossing into the static line on the 6th at the halfway daily candle close, which is the close of the 12-hour. The 12-hour only closes twice a day. So that's when I went ahead and got on out of my position. As we can see back over here, we see that Fisher actually gave us the more correct exit signal on the very next 12-hour candle, allowing us to exit at a little bit more profit. And we're basically back right where we started, holding the 12-hour baseline. Wadatar telling us to not take any positions at this point in time. Minx also telling us to not take any positions at this time. Fisher also telling us to not take any positions at this time. Delving into the realm of price action, this is kind of what I have laid out in my mind as far as price action analysis. I do see an area, a logical stop area coming in around that 11,936, and this will make a little bit more sense down on the 4-hour or the 1-hour, but we do have a level of support coming in right here around this $11,700 area. We kind of have this almost quadruple bottom on these LTFs, and I would be looking around the 11,668 and the 11,222. Those make sense if we pop open CC EMA and start taking a look at our tertiary and our secondary baseline, looking at targets in those realms. This is assuming a 12-hour breakdown. This is assuming a 12-hour breakdown of the Wadatar explosion, a breakdown of this level of support. And also, if we look at our initiators and our other indicators, we can see that Fisher is threatening to cross below the zero line, and Minx is also threatening to cross below the zero line. So we could see a very good confluence of events going into the weekend where we do get that nice momentum sell-off to the downside. And again, coming in around 11,668 for take profit 1 and 11,222 for take profit 2. Let me make sure I have those numbers correct. They're not correct. 10,790. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong numbers. 10,790 would be where our secondary baseline is coming in at, and 11,220 is where our tertiary baseline is going to be coming at, and looking for that resistance to break at 11,668, 11,700. But again, that's price action trading, and that's only going to become true or be valid if our indicators confirm it as well. Now, it's going to behoove you, if you're trying to catch this movement, to be looking at the LTFs for that good initiation. It's most likely that our 12-hour will be lagging behind a little bit. Let's go down to the 4-hour. This will make a little bit more sense coming in here. Here you can see this level of support in the form of the tertiary baseline. We've already broken the primary baseline on the 4-hour. We currently see ourselves again in that jaws of the crocodile area where we're consolidating between the primary and the tertiary baseline, and we're looking at that first take profit here, as we can see, for the test of the secondary baseline moving to the downside on the 4-hour. So as we can see, a lot of pop and chop, multiple lower highs, and again, multiple higher lows. So again, a consolidation pattern. And again, as I've said before, people are going to draw triangles. They're going to draw patterns. They're going to say this is a consolidation pattern. Generally, this XYZ happens. All a consolidation pattern means is that you have lower highs and higher lows, or vice versa. And that means that there's not a clear signal, because when you have higher highs and higher lows, that's a clearly established uptrend. When you have lower highs and lower lows, that's a clearly established downtrend. When you have a mixture of both, that means you're not getting clear signals. So that's really what all these chuckleheads mean when they're drawing triangles and symmetrical patterns and wedges and saying it's a continuation and blah, 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 blah. Doesn't make any sense. There's no statistical edge in saying which way one way breaks up or down, left, right, or sideways. A consolidation pattern means signals are unclear. We are ranging. That is the very definition of consolidation, which means most likely as a trend following trader, you should be sitting on your heels and waiting for momentum and volume to confirm either a breakout or breakdown, and you go in the direction of the trend. And if price reverses on you, that is the risk that you must take when you are looking to initiate a trade. But that is the more likely statistical setup. So looking for a clear break of this range in either direction, and I'll take price in that direction. Moving into the weekend, I'm always hesitant to put on trades on Friday evening. I generally have a bullish bias moving into the weekend because I often find that, again, most professional traders are not trading on the weekends, and we get a lot of retail bidders coming in. Volume is low, volatility is high because of that, and it's just a more risky area to trade. You want to keep your spreads low, your position sizes smaller generally on average. But I will say this. Based on the technicals, I place a higher probability on the downside trade, but be aware of the fake out. That's why I am sitting on my heels for right now, not establishing positions. Now, having said that, let's take one final look at the hourly, and we can see here on the hourly, let's get rid of these price range levels. Actually, let's bring those back because I think those are going to be a little bit more valid. We will get rid of the EMAs though for a little bit. There has been some good opportunity for the reversal traders out there. Fisher Transform has been catching these reversals pretty well. Time transformation even better because time transformation blinks a red light or a green light in your face and it says, hey dummy, you should buy or you should sell right now. Again, we've talked many times about the dangers of reversals. However, I will not deny that it is these patterns often after the fact when one looks back and says, hey, if I would have just used a reversal indicator, I would have killed it in this market. Yes, you would. But the moment you enter into a trending environment, which more than likely is what Bitcoin does, it trends, you're going to get eaten up. You're going to get slaughtered, and it only takes a couple big losses, and most reversal traders are not practicing very good risk management because when you are trying to buy the bottom of the market, where do you set your stop loss? Do you set it in a disciplined strategic fashion congruent to do you set your stop loss in a statistical and congruent disciplined fashion using something like average true range? Most likely not, because when you are trying to buy the bottom of the range and price continues to break down below that and keeps dropping, often you tell yourself, because I've been there myself, oh, this is just a fake out, this is just a stop loss hunt, price will go lower, and then price continues to go lower and continue to go lower and continue to go lower, and then the pain becomes too much, and now you've suffered a big loss. It's even worse as soon as you buy back or cover your, sell your position. Or cover if you were going short and price keeps moving up, then price does reverse on a short term, and then you buy the pump and then it dumps more. So don't get caught up, please, in the realm of reversal trading. Wait for those nice, strong, clear trending signals because when they happen, they are money. Moving right along, let's get over to Ethereum. So just to recap, I am looking for a movement to the downside, not in an established position. I need things to line up, and you guys know very well what those things are. Moving on over to Ethereum. Let's look here at Ethereum. We'll hide the price action for right now, and we will just talk about what's going on. Let's get rid of everything else besides our primary baseline for right now. I talked yesterday about establishing a position on Ethereum to the downside, looking at the 12-hour chart. Again, go back and watch yesterday's video. Currently, I am being justified in that. Price is breaking down. Price did close below the baseline yesterday. Minx is now signaling the short trade on the daily. We have a rising explosion level. We have a red column being printed above that explosion level. We have the Fisher clearly crossing underneath the trigger line. We have Minx crossing to the downside. Everything adding up for a confirmed daily signal to the downside, which would give us some downside targets stretching all the way down to $164 and ranging up to $194. So looking at some differential take profits there is what we would be looking at. Let's get rid of that. Let's bring our tertiary and our secondary baselines back. As we can see on the daily, we have had this baseline cross under. I've talked about that before, how that establishes generally the long-term trend as bearish, and you want to be a little bit wary when you are looking to take your long trades. The more likely statistical setups is to the downside. And again, I do think that we are going to continue to the downside here. I do see this retest of the secondary baseline as a fake out breakout. I do think that we are going to continue to move to the downside over the weekend. However, I do not elicit or get rid of, elicit is the wrong word in that terminology. I do not see, I just can't think of the right words. Sorry, guys. I just do not see. It's a double negative. Maybe it's a triple negative. I do see the potential as the weekend comes in. Again, as I said, generally the weekends comply a bullish bias, so it's possible that we do continue to see some BS ranging over the weekend. So just be careful. I've already entered into my short position on Ethereum. I'm already up, so there's really nothing for me to do here except for manage my position and hopefully watch it tank to the downside. Moving right along. And remember, guys, if you want to profit off, so here's the thing. If you want to make money in dollar terms, I am a dollar trader, so I am focused on maximizing my dollars. I don't really care how much BTC I have. When it comes to trading, as an investor, I continue to buy BTC every single month. Actually, what I do, if you guys want to know a little bit of insight, I take some of my trading profits in BTC and I put that on my Ledger Nano every single month. I've done that for a very, very, very long time. And that is how I accumulate BTC over time. But that has nothing to do with my trading account balance, because I know that there might come any moment where I need to cash out of the markets and I'm going to need money. I'm going to need dollars because that's what I can utilize right now. So that is not a negative blight whatsoever on BTC. As you guys know, you will be very hard pressed to find somebody who is more pro BTC. But again, as a professional trader and investor, there are smart ways to do this and there are not smart ways to do this. And valuing your wealth in BTC at this point in time, while you have no access to credit, do not have a mortgage, do not have, as I said, access to credit, do not have other sources of income, and being all in on any asset class, even if it is Bitcoin and is revolutionary, is not a smart investment strategy. Diversification and patience and the long game are the tools to success in this world. Now, I sound sick. Stop it. You sound sick, sir. What's up, Mr. Ether? Good to see you, man. Okay.
Do I sound sicker or less sick now? Do I sound good? What about now? Do I sound really good now?
Moving right along. Okay. Here we are on the 12-hour chart. As we can see here, we are getting a confirmed 12-hour short signal on Minx. Now we did get one right, actually here on this candle right here is where we got the confirmation of the 12-hour close. So things are looking good. Things are looking good. I know this is a third retest of support. I would actually look for this to break on this retest of support. But again, I would not forestall the possibility of a little bit of ranging activity. I'm okay with being a little bit of drawdown on my position. Should price reverse a little bit, I would actually look at this as I would actually look at that as an opportunity to re-enter or dollar cost average. Okay, so we already talked about targets previously on that daily time frame. Let's go down to the 4-hour. Let's bring the price action back because I did want to paint the other scenario. So, whoa, what did I just do? I just broke it. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, okay, so here we are on the daily. I did want to paint the other picture for you guys, though. Again, I had some charts that were sent to me this morning. I generally enjoy deriding these charts, but again, I will point them out in its validity. We do have this very well-respected ascending trend line. We have 1, 2. This is going to be a third test of the trend line. Now, most people are taught that it is going to be the third test of a trend line that establishes a trend line. In my experience, you have more success doing this when it works if you predict the second and the third tests. It's generally after the third test or on the third test that the trend line fails, because once something becomes visibly apparent, then generally it's going to be traded against. And we have to be aware that in a market where you can go long or short, you are going to be at the mercy, to a degree, when you try to trade reversals, of whales who are going to be profiting, whether in whichever way they move price. They're going to move price whichever direction that they want to do it. Just like big banks push the Forex markets around. This is absolutely true in the cryptocurrency markets as well when it comes to futures platforms. So you have to be aware of that. This is why most people who trade reversals, which keep in mind is most people, come around and they have these horror stories of just being demolished or mollywopped on these trades. If you're a trend following trader, you're going to avoid a lot of that BS, man. Long-term thinking, get in the trend, trade in the direction of the established trend. Right now, price is ranging. I am actually it is obviously looking like price is going to break this to the downside. So keep that in mind. But there's the reversal trade here on the table. I plotted this out for those of you guys who are interested. I would be looking for a long entry now, right now, at this moment in time. Go market buy if you want to take this trade. And you'd be looking to target the secondary baseline, which is coming in at 237. You could probably nag off some profits at 220 at the primary baseline on the way back up. The other area, which would be the sweep of the range low at 189.95, around that 190 area, you'd be setting a limit buy in that area. And again, you'd be targeting the bottom of that ascending trend line and the primary and secondary baseline. So 3 differential take profits on the way back up. So I did want to plot out those scenarios for you guys. That's what a lot of price action traders are going to be looking for. Obviously, you guys are going to to have to take the trade that best fits your risk profile and your style of trading. So best of luck to you. Those are not the trades that I'm going to be taking. So let's hop on down here through the 12-hour. Confirmed breakdown on the 12-hour. We have a water candle rising above a rising explosion level. One thing that I will plot out is it does seem like we are well out of the dead zone as well. That's an update that I'm going to be pushing to the new version of Water Explosion, which is the dead zone, based off of ATR. We'll go down to the 4-hour as well. The 4-hour did give us, sorry, I want to get rid of these other baselines now that we're just looking at PTP setups. We do have a beautiful signal coming in right here on this, actually, excuse me, it's this candle for a PTP setup, and price moving to the downside quite nicely. We do have a confirmed WADA signal on this candle, which sets us up for a gorgeous trade. So something else we're going to be going through in the next module is differential strategies running simultaneously. Let's see here. Okay, so again, overall ranging behavior on the 4-hour, but again, more lucrative in its swings, as I would say more lucrative than Bitcoin in its swings, Ethereum. Very nice, clear trends on the 4-hour and the hourly on Ethereum here as well. So yes, that is overall positional biases to the downside, looking for a break of this consolidation range, and we talked about those downside targets. Let's go look at... this is going to be my prognosis. We'll do Litecoin as a proxy. So we'll look at LTC, BTC on Binance. We'll use this as a proxy. We'll go ahead and talk about that price action that I mentioned the other day. We did, as I said, actually, as I did not say, we did end up breaking through that first level, that kind of level of interest. We are now basically coming up upon that primary order block, which is going to be stretching from, well, excuse me, let me get in my settings and increase this to its max, because now we're looking at sats. It's going to be stretching all the way from 00703 to 0069. Okay, that's kind of the reversal buy zone, looking at that order block right there. Now, be careful, guys, because that is reversal trading. We have had an extreme movement to the downside, generally a lucrative area to pick up a long. Looking for a reversion to the mean trade. Look how far we are away from the baseline, and that would be a recovery of about 20%. So again, not my strategy, not what I do. I sit on my hands. To me, it seems clear that the trend is to the downside. So that means I look for re-entry opportunities to the downside. But this is going to be a proxy for basically every alt to Bitcoin chart, everything that is trading against Bitcoin. Altcoins continue to remain in high beta currently. Now, I'm eager for a reversal of that trend. I have no problem with trading altcoins or capturing great altcoin trends. Some of my greatest profits have come from capturing good altcoin trends, which my system is designed to identify and allow me to get into. But altcoins have been high beta to the downside, and the very strong dominant trend has been to the downside, just not an area to be looking for reversal trades. I mean, there are literally only 2 reversal trades I see here. There's only about 2 days. So there's a couple days here where a buy is good and a couple days here where a buy is good. And beyond that, if you just would have pressed the red button on BitMEX at any other time, literally at any time since June, you would be in profit, right? If you would have just pressed that red button instead of the green button, you would have made money. So when I see something like that, and as I continue to say, I look to take trades in the direction of that dominant trend. Do I think it's a good entry opportunity for Litecoin to the downside at this moment? No. Again, I do think we're coming up upon a pretty significant level of support. I do expect to see a bit of a bounce here, but just keep that in mind. This could all get much, much worse if Bitcoin decides to reverse and break to the upside. So that's going to be a proxy for most of our alt BTC trades. Big Sky Crypto, thank you so much, man. He says, just recently found your Twitch channel and really enjoy listening to your analysis. If you don't mind me asking, what exchanges do you trade on? Thank you. I primarily trade on, first of all, thank you for the support and thank you for following us over there on Twitch, my friend. I primarily trade on ByBit. That is my exchange that I have the majority of my capital on. I also do trade on BitMEX. I also trade on Coinbase, but I really don't trade on Coinbase, and I trade on Binance. I also have accounts on, I have accounts on Kraken, Bittrex. I have an account on HitBTC that I haven't used in years. I have an account on Wabi Pro. I have an account on KuCoin that I haven't touched in a year. Yeah, it's pretty much ByBit and Binance. ByBit and Binance is all I trade on. And then I do trade and then I short altcoins on BitMEX. But other than that, yeah. And I'm going to be looking for an alternative to Binance moving on, most likely Wabi Pro. Although, again, I have been playing around on Kraken. It's not bad, but I don't really like it too much. Okay, let's move into our last USD pairs for the day, and I want to look at EOS, of course, EOS USD, and basically you're going to be able to copy pasta my Ethereum analysis onto both EOS USD and ZERP USD. All right. So we'll go to the ByBit perpetuals on ByBit, and here we are looking at EOS on the daily. A very similar consolidation pattern that we saw on the Ethereum to the dollar pair. And again, I am looking for this to actually break down and continue moving to the downside. So that's pretty much all I'll say. I posted a longer, lengthier analysis in the Premium Members Lounge earlier this morning. Not the Members Lounge, excuse me, the Signals channel and the Market Analysis channel, because you guys know exactly where I'm at with my positions. And again, the exact same thing for XRP. I talked about taking both of these to the downside yesterday. I talked about my bearish bias yesterday, and it is actualizing today. We will go take a brief look at BNB. Keep in mind, building off what I said yesterday, I am not trading BNB at this point in time because I do feel that it is fundamentally too news driven. I think that the recovery is reversal traders, and I do think that BNB or Binance has a propensity to pump their own coin. So I am staying away from trading BNB at this point in time. I did have these price levels marked out. As we can see, this was a level of support that was eventually broken, is now a bearish breaker, and price has come back up and broken, excuse me, we broke the breaker. That means when price comes back up, you would look to re-enter into a short at the retest of that level. So for you BNB margin traders out there, you could have shorted BNB to Bitcoin at this support level. Very brief wick into there. You most likely would have not gotten a full fill, but it did happen. Let's get rid of our price action levels and just look at what we're looking at. We are below the primary baseline. Let's look at our indicators. Minx gave us a very nice short over here. Wadatar confirmed it on this candle. Very nice trend to the downside that lasted for about 5 days. Beautiful trade right there. Reversal, and I am seeing a reversal baseline bounce and an opportunity to re-enter into the short. BNB USDT. BNB USDT, very similar. We did get a long signal on BNB USDT confirmed by everything. Would have set you up for a very nice daily trade. And you would still be in that trade. You'd still be in BNB to the upside, to be honest with you. But again, not a trade I'm taking due to the fundamental driven nature of the BNB market. So that's all we have for the markets this morning. We've got a lot of news to cover, guys. And before we get into the news, so, as a professional trader, I am often asked what metrics I use to evaluate the exchange or exchanges that I trade on, what I look for when selecting an exchange, and I always say the same thing. Customer service, which is number one, ease of use, and security. Now, this is the world of cryptocurrency, so security is going to come with a grain of salt. But here's the thing. Leverage, access to margin, is a security benefit. Why? Because it allows me, when used appropriately, when you use margin appropriately, it allows me to deposit less funds onto the exchange than I actually have and still use leverage to trade the correct position sizes. Not to use leverage the wrong way and take, 100x degen longs or 25x degen shorts. No, none of that. 2, 3, 5x leverage, while only keeping 1/5, 1/3, or half of my actual funds on the exchange, significantly increasing my level of security. That's what I do. I use ByBit for this. That is the best exchange that I've come across, mostly because of their customer service. The access to margin is fine, but it's their customer service. Every single problem I've had with ByBit, every single problem I've ever heard anybody having with ByBit has been solved by ByBit, and that includes funds returned. So if you guys would like to check out ByBit for yourself, you can check the link down in the description below or go to bybit.krakencryptocurrency.com. Take the Pepsi Taste Challenge yourself and find out why we like it here so much. Let's get back into the live scene. All right, so let's see here. Okay. So another follow-up to the Binance hack, this time related to the missing 7,000 BTC, a loss that Binance incurred to the tune of about $80 million. We've been talking about the Binance hack and the KYC leak extensively. Actually, this is the wrong one. Here we go. We've been talking about the Binance hack and the KYC leak extensively. We talked yesterday how evidence seems to suggest that the actual KYC data was acquired by the malicious actors back in the API hack in May when the 7,000 Bitcoin was lifted from the Binance exchange. The funds that, according to Binance, recovered by the SAFU funds. Obviously, Binance had announced earlier this year that they were going to be setting aside a portion of their income from their trading fees as the SAFU funds. Now, accordingly, that was about $80 million, which doesn't really surprise me. Binance is making money literally hand over fist. But let's put this on a little bit of a scroll and talk about this. So, according to a report by blockchain analysis firm Klain, the hackers who are responsible for the 7,000 Bitcoin heist have been attempting to launder their spoils using a mixer service, in this case, ChipMixer. Analysis suggests that the hackers went to work on this mixing just a month after the May 2019 heist. And 4,836 Bitcoin have already been run through the tumbler. Now, believe it or not, it is actually a pretty straightforward method to track coins from such a large heist. It's just practically impossible to launder such a large volume of coins in a short period of time. None of the washed Bitcoin has apparently made it onto exchanges yet, which does contrast and conflict with the statements from the alleged white hat hacker who released the KYC data yesterday, Platon, because he says that the funds have moved to exchanges, but Chainalysis suggests that they have not. Suggesting that the hackers are most likely not done trying to obfuscate the money trail. Now, in the process of this investigation of ChipMixer, Klain, the firm that is conducting this, detected over 1,032 Bitcoin, which is linked to the previous Bitcoin exchange hack. And the reason that I bring this up, the reason why I think this is important is not only to let you guys know that people are onto the trail, but this matter highlights a seldom discussed issue in the Bitcoin space, which is fungibility, right? I'm sure you guys have all heard that word, and most of you don't even know what it means. Fungibility means not all coins are equal. When Chainalysis can reveal your coin history to be related to a crime or theft, those coins that you have may be considered marked and less desirable or valuable to own. And I think this is a conversation that we need to have early on, because on one hand, and this is going to be controversial, but this is an important conversation to have, because on one hand, you have what I believe to be the correct moral argument that all coins are created equally, and not having and having Bitcoin that may have been stolen at some point in time does not mean that you don't have lawful ownership of it now. If someone steals someone's Bitcoin and then buys a computer part online, meaning they're transferring Bitcoin from themselves to the vendor's wallet, and you are an employee of that vendor and you choose to receive your paycheck in Bitcoin, your paycheck then originated, your money that you have originated from stolen funds. And Chainalysis can track those stolen funds to you. So do you think it's right for you to have to forfeit your money that you received lawfully and morally because it was originally someone else's or involved in a crime? We have to be aware of this because governments, as we're going to talk about here in a second, as we already know, are inevitably going to step up their Chainalysis and use it as forensic data to track criminal activity. You know, I can easily see a world where, because you have those funds that were originally stolen, you get hauled in for questioning by Big Brother if your personal identity is in some way tied to your wallet address, which is easy to do. If that is an exchange account where you've done KYC or AML, or if you purchased Bitcoin to that address with a credit card, or if you use that Bitcoin address to send payment for a good or service that you put your name or address to, it's easy to track you. Bitcoin is only pseudonymous, so you can take measures to protect yourself, but most people do not. And that's easy for a government or a hacker or a firm to track you down. So it's important to address this. It's important that we have this conversation. What are we going to do about this? Obviously, and again, here comes controversy. Obviously, it makes sense from a law enforcement perspective for those in the pursuit of stopping criminals, which is a good thing. We want criminals to be stopped and punished, and that requires investigation and law enforcement. So it makes sense for them to track the stolen funds and attempt to determine if you or whoever has them, whoever is a holder of those funds now, were somehow involved in the crime. But that is a huge breach of privacy and a huge inconvenience, and potentially worse, potentially a human rights violation. And again, law enforcement is far from perfect. perfect. They are in the business of racking up numbers and increasing their funding and prosecutions. Some would argue not necessarily in the interest of stopping crime. However, there are many good I know this is, again, controversial. I don't give a fuck. There are many good actors in law enforcement. It's not some evil, tentacled monster of fascist cops running around. I know many people in law enforcement, and many of them genuinely want to do good for the world, right? But the system that they operate in is not perfect, and there are issues. So what is the solution to this? I don't think there's an easy solution to this. We need to talk about the societal impact of this. But as I've said many times, I think that the best solution, the best practice solution, is decentralization and a focus on privacy, which is another thing that people generally do not take seriously. And that's another thing that the Lightning Network, for example, provides to us. For example, the Lightning Network makes transactions far more private, much harder to track and trace, and far harder to track back to your personal identity. I think that you guys, everybody needs to take their digital privacy seriously. People need to be setting up their BTC addresses properly. People need to be purchasing BTC privately, person to person. They need to be creating wallets that have no association with their personal identity. And that includes operating behind a VPN. That includes using burners. And that's a big inconvenience for most people. But privacy and security are largely considered inconveniences by most people. But it's not until your personal data is hacked and breached that you always go, oh my God, I wish I would have taken the 10 minutes to just do it right. Now I'm broke. Listen, guys, you can take control of your life, but that requires taking your digital privacy and your digital security seriously, which means you're going to have to suffer an inconvenience. Now, it's a fine balance. You know, you don't want to go all hardcore, you don't want to go hardcore Spectre security coin all the time. Sometimes you want to go Litecoin on everything, right? But you got to know when to mix and match. You got to know when to mix and match is all I'll say. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Big issue, but I think we need to have this conversation before it's made for us, basically. And going off the heels of that, let's talk about global news. A new global cryptocurrency system set to fight money laundering. So 15 nations along the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, plan to set up a crypto monitoring system in order to collect and share personal data on individuals conducting cryptocurrency transactions worldwide. Now, their stated goal, of course, is to prevent funds from being laundered or going to terrorist organizations or otherwise being put to illicit use. They plan on having detailed plans on the system drawn up by 2020. Just a second. They plan on having detailed plans drawn up on this by 2020 with the system up and running a few years later. Now, once in place, they say the system is going to be managed by the private sector. And this is absolutely fantastic. Coming off the heels of the Binance KYC hack and leak that we've been reporting on, the reality is, again, we're talking about correlating personal identities and digital addresses together. Then we're talking about storing that data somewhere online. Managed by the private sector, which is good, better than government, but creating yet another honeypot for hackers and malicious attackers to get KYC AML data. Now, there is a chance that they do this as best as they could. As I talked about yesterday, as it was suggested to me, only keeping private data or sensitive data online or hot for a very limited period of time until it can be verified, and then shipped off stream to somewhere that is air-gapped, to an air-gapped server. But again, this is a huge security vulnerability. This is a honeypot for attackers. And more than that, this is a dangerous government oversight and control of the monetary system yet again. So a similar report also coming in the exact same day today, coming from the European Central Bank, coming right off the heels of this. Regulators are recognizing the need for reliable on and off-chain data and are making plans to develop a more robust in-house system to do so. Now, what this spells is a future in which regulators will be operating their own nodes and performing their own chain analysis in an effort to identify and audit transactions on the blockchain. Now, we previously talked about the SEC beginning to run their own full nodes for the exact same reason. The entire global regulatory community is waking up to cryptocurrency, and things are going to drastically change in the next 5 years. The space has already changed so much from the original small Bitcoin community of 5 years ago. But as an investor and a trader, this can potentially be good news. It's not the best news for societal growth and progress, but this is to be expected, as I've said many times. So The problem here is not really oversight of the blockchain. It's government power and authority. So we need to utilize Bitcoin in the manner that it was originally intended, to be a payment method, to be a world currency, to bypass government, so that we can support individuals like political dissidents or political actors or people who are speaking out against the government, so that we can actually get some things changed, support causes that we want to. So what are some positive benefits of this? Unfortunately, even as much as I don't like it, well, global regulation will make things safer, right? It'll make things more controlled, but it will make things safer, unfortunately. So if you guys want to stop seeing so many exchange hacks, if you guys want to see basically that, because we've seen how many this year so far, regulation will eventually mitigate much of that by requiring international standards for exchanges as they relate to KYC AML, for example. I've never heard of a Wanda or TD Ameritrade getting hacked, and that's because their identity process, their identity verification process for KYC AML is regulated and standardized. Not, just figure it out, man. Keep it safe, keep it secure. Yeah, I'll just hire some company from frickin' Taiwan. So, and again, no offense to Taiwan. You guys make some of the best plates I've ever eaten off of. Now, also, the governments are going to be forced to develop legislation on cryptocurrency. This is another positive thing about this. Governments around the world, because of this FATFA, kind of regulatory oversight, governments that have not made a firm commitment to cryptocurrency, or have not codified cryptocurrency, or have not made any laws concerning cryptocurrency, are kind of going to be forced to do so. So as I said, many countries out there have no legislation on the books whatsoever for cryptocurrency. And again, this is mostly good, because this is mostly moving toward the light of adoption and promotion. It's just they want to regulate it and control it, and which we don't want, but this is to be expected. This was not going to happen. Like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, the end of the world. No, this is just a thing. It's going to happen, and we're going to have to figure it out. Right, so we're gonna have to figure it out together. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to get some clear guidance on what's going on. But I think we're gonna see that moving forward. We're gonna see clearer and clearer guidance moving forward. Okay. Now, the Litecoin community is in steep celebration today after Twitter took to flooding the news that Litecoin has been declared a payment token by the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. In their parlance, in the IMF's parlance, a payment token is a token to be used universally as a unit of account, a store of value, or a means of payment. However, put your balloons away, guys, because in the report, which was released, the report they're referencing came out in October of 2018. It seems that they're only using Litecoin as an example, with no official declaration from the IMF on what their stance on Litecoin is. So put your party hats away, guys. It's just an EG, right? So here is the let me find the tweets. Yeah, here is the EG Litecoin. There is the quote directly from the report produced by the IMF, October 2018. So could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but overall, not really news. Not really news. Bitcoin dominance, guys. We got to talk about Bitcoin dominance because it is big. Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin's dominance right now rests at about 70% of the entire market cap. That means all the money that's in crypto, 70% of it is in Bitcoin. This is the highest it's been since March 2017. March of 2017. You guys know what happened in April of 2017, right? Price just kept going up. Now, in response, altcoins have continued to be absolutely decimated, especially trading against Bitcoin. Now, we've seen a lot of market cycles here in cryptocurrency, and at times, market capitalization dominance has been fairly balanced. Back in January of 2018, Bitcoin was only 33% or 1/3 of the total market share. However, that is a far cry from what's going on now. So while Bitcoin has sustained its steady upwards trajectory, literally almost all other major and minor cryptocurrencies are bleeding out heavily, mostly trading against Bitcoin, but also trading against the dollar. The charts, again, as I said, the charts look the same, pretty much trading against the dollar. Even with Ethereum being up 60% year to date, it's down 30%. compared to Bitcoin, which is not. So even trading against the dollar, they are struggling, they are sputtering. So unfortunately for altcoin investors, it doesn't seem like these coins are going to be staging a comeback anytime soon. They haven't staged a comeback yet. Could it be right around the corner? Of course it could be, but we've been looking for that recovery for such a long time. I mean, even in July, interestingly enough, even in July, when Bitcoin's price dropped from its recent swing high, dominance in Bitcoin continued to increase. And what does that fundamentally say? It shows investors' confidence in Bitcoin and their disbelief in other cryptos. And until you see that sentiment shift, things aren't going to change, guys. Things just are not going to change. All right. We're going to hop back to Bitcoin over here, guys, and we're going to engage with the chat for a little bit, and we're going to look at Forex. All right, let me know how you guys are doing. I'm scrolling down. Crypto Jack, John Dunn, Ken D, Red 5 Golf Gunner. What's up, man? Angela Hope, Cryptonomics. Blockchain. Do you trust the trading view chart of ByBit to place your trade on, or do you just see a chart with a longer time frame? Nope. I mean, if you show me any significant difference, then yeah, but most of our indicators are going to have a look back period of X, which means if you've got 13 bars, for example, it's going to be the exact same exponential moving average. It's not the previous price data that makes any influence on it. Yeah, it's the exact same price, man. And I'd like to actually chart the platform that I'm going to be trading on. Bitcoin Millionaire, good to see you. Sound like Barry White. What do I think of Axe trading partnership with Quant Network? It seems big since it's for institutional traders. I mean, listen, we continue to get good news and price continues to drop. So these things are okay, but overall, I mean, I've heard so much of this stuff, man, and I haven't seen the charts reverse. What if Bitcoin market share drops to 50%? This is where maximalism runs into cognitive dissonance. Well, I mean, obviously, this is what being a technical trader is all about, because if the markets do reverse and I get good trending signals on altcoins, which I'm more than happy to receive, then you go long on altcoins and you see a different market cycle. But the current market cycle right now is very, very punishing to altcoin investors. Andrew, here are my current Minx settings. 10, 10, and 3. Minx is valid with a length of 8. I challenge you again. Do your own back testing and find your signals. Let's see here. Blockchain, could I give my opinion on the FTX exchange? I've looked at the FTX exchange. I like the on-chain FX stuff. Overall, I'm going to say that initially it looks good. It looks okay. It looks actually pretty nice. I don't have any funds on there yet because before I trade on an exchange, I look into who owns the exchange. I like to look where the money trail goes. I don't have that information yet on FTX. There are still some stones to unturn and uncover. I'm quite happy on ByBit, but I don't have anything, so I will likely not be making the switch because ByBit gives me everything that I like, and if I want to trade options, I can go over to Deribit. But I will say that initially it looks okay. I don't have anything negative to say just yet. Crypto Jack says, this is a main advantage, privacy and zero-proof coins. The argument goes BTC privacy may be handled on the second layer. If a sufficient threat, Bitcoin main chain may adopt privacy features. Absolutely, man. Morse code says, doesn't matter if they can track a wallet address, bro. Anyone can change the address a million times. Simply following with TX isn't enough to us against someone. You know, I would argue that no, because there are multiple things that are broadcasted when you broadcast a TX ID, including your IP address. All of that stuff can be picked up, man. And it's not trivial to actually track you. I mean, it's sometimes it's impossible, right? If you do everything right. So I'd say that if we're going to the extremes, could it be done? Yes, absolutely. But I'm going to say that 90% of individuals, I would say closer to 95, 99%, don't know how to do that. So if they try to do something illegal on the blockchain, easy to track it down, man. Most people have their funds on exchanges anyways. What's going on, malicious upload? Yes, let's go. Well, so that absolutely was not meant as rude. Do you feel that plates are not an important economic activity and that a country that has a good monopoly on plate production is not important economically? Come on, man. I feel like you're trying to be rude. I'm just being playful. Bullseye, thank you so much, man. He says, nice stream as usual. Love the way you communicate. Thanks for preserving your audience's eardrums with pop filters and not having an annoying buzzer on all the time. Well, you're welcome, man. Last few months, I short a random alt by $20 every time someone in a chat room says alt season. It's been profitable. I don't have to look at the chart. Hey, Nitradamus 2K, man. Nitradamus. Sorry about that, man. Thank you so much, my good friend. Okay, one last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll look at Forex. And this is my friends over at Spectre Security Coin. So this was brought to my attention today. Spectre Security Coin is a partner coin of Kraken Cryptocurrency. They're good people, got a good project. Not, again, people are going to get the wrong idea. Not paid for, not promoted, not sponsorship. They're a coin I like. I like the people. This is crypto. I try to help good people out in the space, okay? They're getting some, in my opinion, some attacks here over on bitcointalk.org. Somebody with a lot of merit status on Bitcoin Talk has flagged them as a scam, saying they've plagiarized a white paper. Ironically enough, the white paper that they are saying they plagiarized from is literally the white paper that this project forked from. So all you have to do is do some reading or do some Googling yourself. Also, this individual has been banned from multiple other online chat rooms. So I'll kind of leave it at that. I'll just say this. There is... All you have to do is kind of read this stuff, but I felt it was important for me to speak up. Somebody sent me this link earlier, and I felt it was kind of important for me to speak on. I read all of this information earlier this morning, and it's all silly. Every single claim. Now, I'm fine with everything. You know, there are X42 protocol, for example, Spectre Security Coin, MMO. If somebody can bring me some legitimate information about wrongdoing, I will be the first here on the show blasting it, because I do not like dishonest actors in this space. But if you bring me information and it's fraudulent, I'm going to tell you your information's fraudulent and bogus and you're trying to be a dick. So the people who are making this claim are bogus and have bad evidence and fraudulent evidence and are conducting themselves fraudulently and are being dicks. So do your own research, make your own opinion. No stake in the game. Not telling you to go buy anything, but good people over there at XSPC. And so I say my piece. All right, let's move back into the charts. Johnny, I'm looking forward to seeing that. My good man. My strategy tests well on longs only in a bullish market. What would be your go-to adjustments to perform better in a bear market? Optimize your shorts and you optimize your short strategy and your long strategy independently. Don't run them in the same indie. So create a long strategy that runs independently of your short strategy and ensure that both are profitable. And then live test them. So go back and back test them without the use of something automated. Go see like logistically when things got initiated. But I would look at trends. Like I would look to be, as a trend following trader, I'm looking to go, I don't have that problem. Reversal traders run into that problem a lot where, they're buying dips in a bullish market, and they're just getting hammered in bear markets. So my go-to recommendation would be if your strategy is a reversal, I would potentially look at a trend following strategy instead, because you generally don't have those problems from the get because you're looking to generally go long when price is bullish, which means you have a statistical edge, and you're looking to go bearish if price is bearish. Okay, so let's go look at Forex, and that's about it, guys. If you guys got any questions or chart requests, I'd love to take a look at it. All right. Took a little bit of profits on my trades last night. Still got a lot of them open, so we'll start scrolling through. I am logged into a Wanda right here, so Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen, again, still nothing to do. As I said, we got an exit signal from Minx about 2 days ago, so a third out on that position. Seems like we're getting the exit signal from Fisher, so I'd take another third. We already would have taken 50% profit on this, so again, just scaling out the last bit of our profits as price continues to move to the downside. The Aussie Kiwi did give a confirmed long signal, but it was we need to make an adjustment. I apologize. To the appropriate Forex baseline. But we were too high above the qualifying line. And even though WADA as an initiator tests really good without the qualifying line, I find that it's very, very important. I find that it's very important to do that. It just in general improves your risk. Or it just in general improves your risk profile. So anyways, Aussie Kiwi, though, is a valid long. For me personally, my strategy of trading, I would not have been able to secure an entry on this because price was too high when I got the signal to go long, and there was no pullback, a valid pullback within the rules to enter. But it is a valid signal, and it is performing well. I don't see this as a buying opportunity. I will not be purchasing this until it comes back into my buy zone, but definitely a bullish bias. On the Aussie dollar, we are going to be exiting this position fully at the close of today's candle. As you can see, we've been taking profits on our Aussie dollar short trade, and it's going to be on the close of actually today's candle when we go ahead and get out of the trade, because now Fisher is crossed up, and that is our last little bitty exit signal. Canadian Swissy, very similar. Actually, the Canadian Swissy I would still be holding open short, no exit signal whatsoever, so I would continue to hold that. It looks very similar to the Aussie dollar, but I would continue to hold the short trade open. The Canadian Yen, it would still be a held open short. Don't be taking any profit on this yet. Let's see here. Swissy Yen. I did go short on the Swissy Yen yesterday. This was the only trade that I put on yesterday. You guys can see I put this trade on slightly before the candle opened up. Doing quite well. How many pips am I up from my entry so far? About 49, 50 pips, give or take, on this trade so far, Swissy Yen pair. Coming kind of down to the support level again, there's nothing to do here. The trade is just going in my favor. I haven't hit my first take profit yet, so we'll just wait for price to actualize. The Euro Aussie, nothing to do here. Obviously, I would be out of the long position. We would have been out here. Yep, taking profits here. Only a third of our profits so far. Haven't gotten exit signals from our other indies yet. The Euro Canadian is a no trade right now. Actually, you'd be in a long position on the Euro CAD, so I'd be taking no profits, actually. You probably already hit take profit once, so there's no real reason to do anything else. Euro Swissy continues to be an opportunity to look for that retest and a trending short. There's no trade on the table right now. You should have been in a full risk short and already been 1/3 out of it. You'd still be in the Euro Swissy short at the moment. Euro Kiwi, I continue to remain long on the Euro Kiwi. I haven't gotten an exit signal yet. This is so a lot of people, I get this question a lot. Well, man, how do I have predictive indicators? Everything else is lagging. So the nice thing about lagging indicators is that they keep you in a trade when stuff like this happens, because all your reversal indicators are going to be like, abort, bail, sell the bottom, and nice, good lagging indicators, which are confirming indicators, right, that aren't so sensitive to every little fluctuation in the market, keep you in a nice trend. And that is a bulk of how I do things. So Euro Kiwi, continue to hold it open. No exit signals on the Euro Kiwi. Euro Pound, nice good breakout signal on the Euro Pound. Good re-entry trade right here, but we are really far away from the baseline, so there's a lot of risk entailed there. So I really wouldn't be looking to take that. Euro Yen, again, I would still be riding the short trade, and I would be taking a third profit on today's candle close. That's about it, just the third. Euro Dollar, nothing from the Euro Dollar yet. Nothing from the Fiver. Took the pound Kiwi long on this pullback. This is going to be most likely a losing trade because we did get the long signal on this candle too far above the qualifying line. So we bought the pullback on the pullback yesterday. Continuing to move to the downside, though, and not putting in that nice reversal. We've got a few hours before we have to make a decision. But overall, really nothing to do here. Most likely we'll be exiting the trade if we do end up closing. Well, if we do close below this baseline. But the exit indicators haven't fired, so it would just be a baseline exit. Pound Canadian, obviously a retest of the baseline, reversal baseline and bounce trade to the downside. But other than that, no strong trending signal. Pound Swissy, I'd be taking a third profit on the Pound Swissy short if you have not already. That's about it. Pound Yen, exact same thing. I'd be taking a third profit on the Pound Yen short if you have not already. Pound Dollar, again, same thing. Make sure that you have notched out a third profit. Other than that, do nothing. Actually, 2/3 profit, excuse me. Kiwi Dollar, let's see here. I've scaled out a third profit here, and I'll be scaling out another third profit, as you can see, with Fisher crossing back up. So I'll be scaling out a little bit more, only having a third of my position in the Kiwi Dollar short. Kiwi CAD did end up getting out of this trade fully. Kiwi Swissy, I still have 2/3 of my position open. I'll be taking... I already took a third over here. I already took a third. So I'll just be waiting for my other exit indies to fire. Kiwi Yen, same thing. Still holding the Kiwi Yen short open. Again, almost on all these trades, I'm 200 plus pips up on these trades. Very happy with these trades. I already scaled out a third profit, so just waiting for the other exit indies to fire. Dollar Canadian, nothing to do right here. We do have a reversal baseline bounce coming up soon. Pound Aussie, again, I talked about my last trade on the Pound Aussie was a successful long right here. No short signal yet, and we're pretty far below the baseline, so we'll see what happens. We need a little bit more volatility. Took the Dollar Swissy short. As you guys can see, what am I up? Like, I think 80 pips on this right now. 93 pips I'm up on the Dollar Swissy short. Really nothing to do on this. Exit indies haven't fired, so just chilling. Dollar Yen, I continue to hold the short open. No exit signals. Aussie CAD, no signal. Aussie Swissy, no signal. Make sure you should be almost out of your Aussie Swissy short, scaling out your profits. And the dollar yuan, obviously it was a good long. Nothing to do right now. Kind of consolidation, looking for a fresh breakout signal, which we don't have yet. So that's Forex, guys. It's been great, man. Could I share the specific gray I have for the background? It's this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. All right. They are putting stuff in the water, I guess. Well, thank you, Live Bitcoin Trading. I like it, man. If you have a KYC account on Binance, how can we check if it's been leaked? There's really no easy way. Again, as the information's out there, if you know where to look. I'm not really that guy. You'd have to go check on the dark web, go check on forums. The Telegram group's been taken down. I'm sure there is an archive of it somewhere. I'd probably point you in the direction of 4chan.org, to be honest. That's generally a good place to start kicking around the dust, looking for somebody who has an archive zip file. But yeah, I'm not, I've decided that even if the information does come across my desk, I'm not going to release it because that just puts it in the hands of more false actors. But I do think it's important for people to go and grind and find their own access. But other than that, there's no other place. The information was leaked privately. You're going to have to find a private archive dump zip file of all the KYC data that was released and leaked. That's all I can say. But other than that, I will also say I will also say that make sure you watch yesterday's video where we talk about the precautions that you should take if you feel that potentially your account is at risk. There's a lot of things that you can do credit-wise. There's a lot of things that you can do with your accounts as well for additional security. So I do recommend you take that seriously, and I think you'd have a good start. There's timestamps for yesterday's video. You can go check that out, and there should be a card somewhere here pretty soon. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same thing, man. People are like, oh, I can't see your chart. And I'm like, okay, are you watching me in 360p? Just like crank it up to 1080, guys. That's what I'm streaming in, 1080p, 60 frames per second. And you'll be able to see just fine. Everything. Like 4K, baby. Whew. All right. That's about it for me today, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. I didn't see any of your requests, guys, so hopefully you guys have an absolutely fantastic day. Make sure that you're trading safely and make sure that you're being smart moving into the weekend. I'm going to be uploading some fantastic content this weekend, a recap on divergence and a couple other strategy videos as well. If you guys would like to join the premium trading group and have access to our exclusive trade setups and signals, our proprietary indicators, our strategies, our pathways to profit course, and everything that comes with membership, make sure to visit premium.krakencryptocurrency.com to get started today. And if you like amazing crypto podcasts and you like to listen to this show at your leisure, head on over to breakingbitcoin.money and you can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, all the above. 5-star reviews on iTunes are highly appreciated. But it will not move you up any faster in the X42 giveaway protocol rankings. Sorry, guys. We don't do bribery. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats, make sure to leave them in the comments section down below. And I will try to respond to you within the next 48 hours if it's a good comment. But generally, I try to peep everybody out. So you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for showing up another day for another fantastic video, guys. If you want to support the show, make sure to subscribe, follow, share, and engage in the comments section down below. And hit the thumbs up button on the way out, guys. I'll see you guys on Monday. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Where's the exit button? I think it's this one. So close.